This is Align and Elevate by Letitia May Collective. Not just a podcast, but a movement where soul meets strategy, purpose ignites impact, and growth is sacred. This is your space to become powerfully you and wildly aligned. Let's rise together. We are talking today to Suzanne Butler, a Feng Shui practitioner, empowerment expert, business and life strategist. She is a DV survivor and advocate podcaster, entrepreneur and retreat host. Suzanne comes from Harmonizing Energies, and she's a certified practitioner of classical Flying Stars Feng Shui, an energetic recalibration mentor for high-achieving women who are ready to lead from truth and not burnout. She is known for helping powerhouse women across the globe reimagine success through soul-led strategy and energetic sovereignty. Her clients have manifested six-figure opportunities, healed marriages, aligned teams, and reclaimed joy, not by doing more, but by becoming more of who they truly are. Hello and good afternoon. We welcome to Suzanne from Harmonizing Energies. How are you today, Suzanne?
I'm pretty wonderful, thank you.
That's fabulous. So, thank you so much for joining us on Align and Elevate. It's an absolute privilege and honor to have you here. So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
As
so
you know,
much.
I love to get into the juiciness of conversations, and I love to bring in things that might challenge the audience in terms of their thinking and their beliefs. So, but before we get into that, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, so the absolute crux of what I do is I'm a feng shui practitioner. So I help mostly women balance the energy in their homes just to bring in more luck, abundance, and harmony in their lives. So if you've got a family that's the kids are running you ragged, there's a pile of laundry, and you're arguing with your partner, and it's just constant stress. Once we get the house balanced, those things just don't matter anymore, and the life just gets easier. So that's the absolute base of what I do, what my obsession is, and what I can talk about for hours. But I also work with solopreneurial women to find out who they are, because through my own discovery, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on coaching, and it never worked. And it wasn't until I had a realization that I wasn't engineered a particular way for all coaching to work for me, that I really have never dealt with cookie cutter my entire life. A cookie cutter bores the absolute shit out of me.
Yeah.
So if it does it to me, then it does it to a lot of other people. And when you don't know yourself, you start listening to everyone and
Mm-hmm.
you try everything, and nothing sticks and nothing works. And then you get burnt out, you get frustrated, and that's when you get stuck. So
Mm-hmm.
I take, obviously, balancing the home is the first step, but then we identify who it is you are and what it is you actually want. Because when we know that, we can make anything happen.
I love this. So you go from taking the energy of the external world in their environment that they live in, their external environment, and you bring it all the way through the external into the internal world so that they can marry up and they can match each other. Is that what I'm hearing from you? Yeah.
Pretty much. Because the home, whatever's going on for you, your home is going to be creating part of that problem. So if you have a home, for example, that has energy of arguments, you find that you're always fighting with your husband. Well, we need to clear that energy. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
just about doing a space clearing, it's about balancing what is going on in your actual home. If you don't sleep, if you're having a certain age, if you're having hormonal problems, or you're going through menopause, well, life's going to get harder. We need to get the house balanced to support anything that you're wanting to achieve. And the byproduct of that is typically more money from unexpected places, harmonious relationships, well-behaved children, and anything else that anyone looking on the outside in would say, "Oh my God, they live a perfect life." So
Mm-hmm.
it's that's the absolute, because you cannot run your life from a place of chaos, and whatever happens in your personal life will show up in your business. So
Absolutely.
it's
Yes.
if you're in a relationship where you're disrespected and you're treated poorly by your partner, then you are going to attract clients that disrespect you, that disrespect your time, that don't pay, that will argue with you all the time. So we need to balance both, because if we don't, it just won't work. It's as
Hmm.
simple as that.
Yeah. So there's things to my heart because I definitely resonate with what's in your inner world is in your outer world and vice versa. So being able to clear up those energies and really bring it back to self. So when you're talking about, the dysfunction in relationships and then bringing it into your business, it's like, yes, leaky energy, like the ability to clean up that space, whether it's for yourself or for your home or for your business. It is going to leak over into all different aspects of your
Yeah,
life, right? So
yeah,
it's such a powerful, unique way of being able to work. And Feng Shui goes back centuries. Can you tell us a little bit more
absolutely.
about Feng Shui?
Yeah, so originally it was used to find the best place for burial. So it was used in
Oh,
cemeteries.
that's really
Uh,
interesting. I never knew
yeah,
that.
yeah. So the best place to be placed for the afterlife, basically. And
Wow.
then they took it and they brought it into the emperor's palace. So only people of, divine lineage would get access to that. And then it became like because they wanted more success, they wanted to win in more wars, they wanted to, accumulate more fortune.
So
Um,
does this does this sort of interrelate with the likes of song lines and ley lines and where castles and where certain portals are placed throughout the world and earth and
it can, yeah,
so that like they call in certain abundant areas, I suppose, or certain whatever it is that they're really aligned to.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, wow,
yeah.
that's really interesting.
And then when China became more communist, they actually banned feng shui in China. So if you go to China today, the chances are when you speak to someone, they really won't know what feng shui is because it was banned. So all the masters moved from China into Hong Kong, into Malaysia, and Singapore. So that's where the majority of the masters are now. It's in those three Asian
Mm.
countries or provinces. But China, yeah, they didn't want the peasants being wealthy. They didn't want that.
It's
So
suppression, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
And we
So
see that in a lot of tyrannical governments throughout the world. Like
yeah,
they come in, they take over the power, the control, they suppress,
yeah,
and then these modalities that are starting to come out in the Western world now have the ability to shine and people get to know about it again and start to incorporate it again into their light, which will hopefully, in my mind, we as a collective are going to overturn that. So
it's the
keep going. So
affirmation now.
yeah.
Um, but then because of that, there became a sort of division in the schools of feng shui. So there's many schools of feng shui. Not all feng shui is created equal. You majority of people would have heard of when they think of feng shui would have think, oh, I've got my front door is north, or um, I've got to put in a frog with three legs with a coin in its mouth, and I've got to do this, and that's not what traditional classical feng shui is. So the
Hmm.
school that I practice is called Classical Flying Stars, and each home is very different. Each home is the calculations are based on that particular home, when it was built. We take into consideration renovations, and each home has its own different energies, and it's dependent on which way it faces as well. So a face that's built in 1982 facing north will have very different energies to a house built in 1973 facing northwest. They'll be very,
Hmm.
very different.
So
And
it brings in numerology with
no, not
the
numerology.
no?
No, definitely not numerology.
Okay.
That's something I'm constantly debunking. The energies are based on the flying stars. So we've got nine
Ah,
stars. They have
yep.
varying strengths, varying. It's dependent on whether they're good or bad stars, and the combinations of those tell a story. So when someone's telling me, "Oh yeah, well, for example, we're trying to conceive. There's no medical reason why I can't conceive. This, that, and the other. There might be energies in that home that tell me this is problematic for women. This could cause reproductive problems. And if their bedroom is in that area, then I would tell them to move to a separate bedroom to try and conceive. Or
Yeah.
can you move for 6 months?
Yep.
Go on holiday and try it while you're away, because it's that specific. It is
Mm-hmm.
super specific, and I keep trying to prove it wrong, and it keeps
Mm-hmm.
proving me right. So it's it's just a magical modality that explains everything, teaches you a lot about yourself, and makes it easier for you to make change. So, even for myself, the more I do, the more I'm learning, the more aha moments I keep having. This house that I live in, it's not good for health. And like, my lease is up in end of January. I will be moving because I know I can't stay here. The
Mm.
longer I stay here, the worse my health is getting. And it doesn't matter what I do because I'm doing everything that I
And
should
is
be.
this
But the
health
previous,
related to the
yeah,
sacral
the
level?
previous tenant, she has been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh,
I'm doing a
wow.
massive rheumatoid flare and I just cannot move it on
Yeah.
despite doing everything. And I'm talking everything from meditation through to the specialist, like everything. Nothing is working.
Mm.
And my neighbor on the other side of the duplex, she was diagnosed with a very severe MS. So this building here is not good for health. The fact that the worst energies that are always about health problems and disaster is in my bedroom. It wouldn't matter if I changed the bedroom because the next room over has also got the same energies in it. So
Okay.
I have to move. It's as
Can
simple as
you
that.
can you talk into energies and what you mean? Like for the viewers, if they don't know what energies mean, if they're hearing about bad energies, they may think, entities, energies, things like that. When you're talking about energies, is it more the frequency and vibration energies, or are you talking entities, energies?
No, not entities. I'm talking
Okay.
about chi,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
So more
everything,
the
life force, the life
great.
force energies. So every area of your home it's split up into 9 areas. Each area of the home has two permanent numbers in there. When we
Mm-hmm.
add annual numbers into the mix, things can go either haywire, neutralize, or be good. So it's just knowing what is actually going on, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what tells the story. So the five, and the two is not so bad anymore, but the five is negative. It's always negative. It's the disaster star. That's what it's called. It's called the disaster star. So when you combine it with the two, which is the illness star, then you can
Mm.
see why that isn't good for health. Um,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of cycle 8 houses, which we just moved out of last year, has two areas that have got these combinations. So it's having that knowledge. Like, I help people find new homes, and if I understand what's going on for them, there'll be homes that I'll be able to say, no, don't get that one, look at
Mm-hmm.
this one instead. Because once we know what's going on, we can try and prevent anything coming to them. It's not going to happen for everybody. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't have any underlying problems and you moved into this house,
It's
probably
just
wouldn't
the
affect you.
location.
But because I have underlying issues, it's amplifying it. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter the fact that it's remedied, it's still causing me problems. So
Mm-hmm.
each home is very individual. Every person is very individualized. And that's why it's important to not try and DIY. There's so many people try and DIY and they get it terribly wrong and they create more problems
Mm-hmm.
than what they need to, because it's
So, what are the indications then for somebody to go, hey, I really need to go and find someone to help me with this, go and find Suzanne to help me with this? What
yeah,
are the causes, the effects that they're experiencing that might do this? So, you mentioned somebody who might be suffering with or having issues with infertility.
yep,
Health is another one.
yep.
What else will they be looking at if they needed to come and see you and they go, oh, let's go. I heard this podcast the other day. I know I need to go see Suzanne.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say everyone needs to see me because everyone. So whether or not you had a really good house or not, we can always do better. Like,
Hmm.
why to stop at good? Let's be awesome, right? But some of the things that you'll notice, if the energy isn't right, if you've, say, moved into a house or for some reason you cannot get ahead, I know we are blaming the financial cost of living, everything like that. But people are still going on holidays. People
Oh
are still
yeah.
buying new cars. People are still investing in big ticket items. So
If you go down the Gold Coast and you look around you,
yeah,
the expensive cars, the amount of
yeah,
money being spent at markets and restaurants, like the
yeah,
hotels that are being slept in of an evening, there are millions
yeah,
of dollars being spent in just one hour, one day. Like I
yeah,
don't agree with that either.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but if you for some reason cannot get ahead, if
Hmm.
you're earning, decent money and bills keep coming out of nowhere, things keep breaking, um, and you just don't, you look at your bank account and go, what on earth is going on here?
Hmm.
Then the likelihood is your house is bad for money. And it won't matter what you do, it's going to continue. You can space clear for all your heart's content, but it's not going to do anything to adjust the energies. If you are having health problems, if you're having relationship problems, um, you keep losing jobs, you just can't catch a break,
Hmm.
then the chances are the energies in the house are not supporting you. So it's not one thing. And if you've lived in a type of house and then you move it, try and look for a new house, the chances are you will pick something that seems familiar. So you might
Hmm.
end up in the same house again. And you just think, oh, I've just got bad luck. Well, maybe, but maybe you're just attracting that energy because that feels safe to you.
Mm.
So
Yes.
we just need to, like, the beauty of this is you can believe in it or not. It will work anyway. When we balance it, it will work. And
Hmm.
I don't like working with people that, try and hide it from their partners. But there's been some cases where wives just go, I'm doing it anyway, bugger my husband, he doesn't believe in the woo woo stuff, so whatever. And then next minute he's come home with a pay rise or a promotion or something like that. So, they haven't even known the place has been done. So, and that's what's happened. But yeah, anything negative going on or something you're wanting to attract in your life, and it just seems to be
Hmm.
really, really difficult. Selling houses. If you're wanting to sell a house for really good money, I've got quite a bit of experience doing that, and the owners have been overjoyed with the
Hmm.
price we've gotten for the house. So
And this is just adding elements or changing maybe the aspect of a room, for example, to align the energy and the chi accordingly to allow that flow to happen. Is that right?
we literally just add in an element. I don't care
Yeah.
what's in a room.
Yep.
A couch is going to go where the couch goes. It's as
Yep.
simple as that.
Yep.
Unless we're building a house from scratch, there's nothing much we can do. But for example, behind me, I've got all that sort of terracotta color. The remedy in that area, in this area, is red earth. So red
Hmm.
earth is a
I
combination
noticed
of
that. That was the
earth and
first thing I
fire.
noticed. I'm like, there's red and oranges here.
Yeah, yeah. So that's in my northwest. I need red earth, which is a combination of fire and earth. We need a bit of fire and a bit of earth just to control it. It doesn't need a huge amount this year. Last year
Hmm.
it was, what was it last year? Last year was fire. So
Hmm.
I had oranges and I had reds and everything in this area. But in front of me, I need metal. So this room is cut in half. Walls don't exist. It's basically on the floor plan. But I need metal. So I've got some weights in a basket underneath my bookshelf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
So
it can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be a big
absolutely. I
extravagant.
don't
Yeah.
do things difficult, like with any difficulty, because it's just too hard. There's plenty of other practitioners out there that they'll move things around every month. No thanks. That's
Hmm.
too much.
Hmm.
So we keep it simple. We put things in place. We put them in February. They stay there for 12 months, and then we move them where they need to go. It's
Yeah.
a very, very simple process. And, I explain the energies in your home. I tell you why I think if this X, Y, and Z start happening this year, this will be the reason why. And if that's the case, you haven't got enough of the remedy and you need to put in more. So
Hmm.
once we remedy something, there'll be good and bad things that could happen. If it's not done correctly, the bad things will happen and the good things won't. So
Hmm.
that's how it's sort of played off.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you for that. I want to, as I mentioned before, talk into something a little bit juicy. So,
Mm.
what's something that's been playing on your mind lately that might be really bugging you, or might be questioning the norm, or you might be having questions yourself and starting to question your own belief systems on certain things. What's something that's been really relevant and potent for you lately?
I think so. We last year we moved into cycle 9, which is all about the middle-aged woman, and something that I've always been like. I wouldn't say I'm the anti-feminist, but I've just always got on and done what I wanted to do. Like no one's
Mhm.
told me, tell me no, hold my beer, watch me, I'm going to do it anyway. That's just always been my,
Sounds like me. You're my
yeah,
mirror.
that's always been my, my way of life. Um, but as we're moving into this new cycle, women are standing up. We are starting to stand up. This is why we're seeing the male loneliness epidemic bullshit. They're causing that themselves. Um, and we're seeing more women wanting to stay single, wanting to just support themselves. We're seeing sisterhoods really ramp up, and that being a major component of our lives. Um, but there's still a massive um, sort of sway to permission and seeking permission. And it drives me batty because I want everyone to win.
Yeah.
I
Is
want
it seeking
everyone to
permission or is it seeking external validation in your view?
permission.
Okay. And permission
Absolutely.
from who? Who?
Permission from anyone, permission
Okay.
from partners, permission from parents still,
Hmm.
permission from friends, like just wanting other people's, either wanting someone else's opinion and consistent opinion and then not following what anyone's saying anyway. But just women staying stuck. And then when things fall over,
So not being true to themselves, like
no,
not trusting in their own
no,
intuition and their own downloads and their own
yeah,
information that they're
yeah,
receiving. Hey, I want to do this thing, and yet they're giving their power away still.
absolutely. And,
Yeah, what a
I
paradox.
saw it the other month. I had a client, and as soon as this conversation opened up, I realized I have to tread very heavily here. This woman's in a financially abusive marriage.
Mm,
And as someone who has been through DV twice, in very toxic, abusive relationships, um, I could see it straight away. And I think it's becoming my suit. I can see through things very quickly. I can see when someone's lying and more lying to themselves rather than lying to me. And I don't want to work with people like that because in the end, it's just heartbreaking. Um,
yes.
and because they're seeking that validation or permission from elsewhere, nothing I tell them will actually get through.
Hmm.
Um, and they won't follow the instruction. So yeah,
I definitely find that they do that when they're not ready to own. Like it's radical responsibility for themselves. It's
yeah,
radical responsibility to just say, hey, I need to take care of me right now.
yeah,
And I don't need you to tell me I can spend the money that I earned. I don't need
yeah,
you to tell me that um, they don't believe in me or what I believe in because it's woo woo or whatever, whatever the concept is at the
yeah,
time. Like if you have a belief and a drive, you will go out and get it. Like if your ability to um the word I'm going to prioritize yourself, like it's coming back to self. It's taking that radical responsibility for
yeah,
yourself, right?
yeah.
I actually have had a client who has been quite similar, has given her power away recently. And it's sort of like, yes, but can you see that because you allowed that to happen, because you put the boundary and the expectation out here, you actually allowed that to happen. So you created your own reality in this sense. She goes, I don't like that. I don't like that you said that I created my own reality. It's like, and you're giving your power away.
Yeah.
Like when
It's
you're
the
ready to see it.
responsibility. Like I say, I went through two abusive relationships,
Yeah.
varying, like in severity, varying in type. Um, but, and I did not deserve that treatment.
No, nobody
Did not
does.
deserve it. However, I take responsibility because
Mm,
I saw it. I saw the red flags. I didn't agree with the behavior. Didn't agree with how they were treating me. I didn't like how they were treating me, yet I stayed.
hmm.
And I put up with it from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
There were red flags. It was more like a Mardi Gras for both of them, but I put up with it and I stayed. A lot,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was exhausted trying to deal with a lot of stuff at the same time,
Yeah.
and it was circumstance. But at the end of the day, it wasn't anyone else's fault that I got into those relationships and stayed. It was mine.
Their choices
So
and decisions.
yeah,
Yep.
you have to take absolute responsibility for that. But like someone who I had a call with a couple of probably 18 months ago, I suppose, maybe I can't remember how long. Messaged me over the weekend asking about, oh, where can I put in an aquarium? And I just said, please don't put one in without knowing your home's energy, because not every home should have aquariums. It can be detrimental to money, luck, and to health.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, okay, well, how much is it to work with you? And I sent her the link and I sent her all the details. And okay, and how quickly can we get this done? And I said, well, it's dependent on you. You complete the paperwork and the questionnaire, I will get your report to you. Simple as that. And then you have a session with me and we'll go, but what if we only want to do one or two parts of it? I said, it won't work. You'll unbalance your house. It will create more problems than fix. Oh, well, what if we do this? And I said, look, it's either all or nothing. Yeah, well, I'm really into it, and my husband doesn't believe in it. And I'm like, she's willing to spend the money, and then you don't. I just went, no, I'm not doing that. That's not how this
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
You either do it all and do it all quickly, or don't do it at all.
Yeah. And as facilitators, we need to learn and embody what we're preaching, right?
Yeah,
So we need to learn and embody that we have to put those boundaries in place, and we say no when it feels like a no, when the
yeah,
energy, when the chi is off, when we know that, hey, they're actually going to bring bad, I'm going to call it bad juju to us as well,
yeah,
because we've put down our guard and we've put up with their bad behavior. Let's call it bad behavior.
yeah,
They may not know that it's bad behavior, but it is in our line of work, right?
mm.
So, it's really curious, really, really curious.
I'll have people that that are like that who I have taken on in the past, and it's always
Mm-hmm.
been a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Always. They get very, it's saying like, I haven't set my boundary, so then they think it's okay to cross it. I don't put that boundary back in place. They keep crossing it, and
Yeah,
it becomes my problem. I'm the reason why they haven't succeeded. I'm the reason why nothing's changed in their life, but they've done nothing to make a change. So now I see it from the get-go. No, we're not going to work together because you're
mm-hmm.
not going to take an action, and I
Because
don't
you're
want
not
to do
going to
that.
take radical responsibility. Like,
Yeah,
it comes back to awareness and radical
yeah.
responsibility.
Unlike
And when
one of my
you know, oh, sorry, you go.
unlike one of my clients who, I've been working with her for three years, um, and every 6 months she would send me an email and say, "We're having problems with blah 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 blah," and I say, "Okay, have you done everything? Like, I don't know what to say to you unless I know what you've done." And she wouldn't respond. And then every 6 months, I get the same email. So February, when I sent the reports out this year, I just turned around and I said, I say this with my whole chest and with love. If you're
Mm-hmm.
going to do this, you need to do this properly, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I'm sick of getting these emails every 6 months and you do nothing to tell me what's going on. So I need you to tell me, I need you to show me what you have done. And we need to have our goal setting session and blah, blah. And she's go, yeah, yeah. So this woman who, like, and it's been a very interesting lesson in understanding where people are with how broke they are as well. Where people say they can't afford it. It's like, are you bare bones, or you've got 10 grand in your bank account and that you just can't afford it because that's your
It's
absolute
just not your
minimum you want to go
priority.
to?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really funny.
We lost a bit of the recording of what Suzanne and I were speaking into, but she gave us an example of one of her clients having gone through her service and had been given feedback on what she needed to do to change within her home, and she hadn't acted on it. But the moment that she did, a couple of sessions, and 6 months later, she received several sources of income. So from her husband receiving a bonus, to receiving a massive big tax return, to also generating income from things that she'd sold, that she'd been trying to sell for a very long time. So there was this really huge influx of abundance coming her way just by changing and acting on some of the advice she'd been given by Suzanne. She goes, and she talked into the fact that when you take action and aligned action, you're able to benefit and reap the rewards. She spoke into some of her programs, including Fuck the Formula, her entrepreneur program for business women, and making sure that they can get the income flow generating. She's been able to generate over $550,000 in unexpected revenue. And we talked into a takeaway that she would like to leave the audience, the followers, with, and it was around coming back to peace, finding your peace, and being able to do that through your energetic makeup, but also not having to ask for permission to be you. And it's a really powerful conversation to have and to start. What does it take to be you, and how can you take your power back to be able to align to that? So you can follow along Suzanne. I've got the links down below in her bio. She's at Harmonizing Energies, Feng Shui, Suzanne Butler. Really, really great privilege, honor, and pleasure having her on Align and Elevate podcast today. I hope you enjoyed part of the conversation as well.
Thank you so much for being here with me today on Align and Elevate. If this conversation spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who needs it too. Make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you feel called, leave a review. It truly means the world and helps more women find this space. You can always come hang out with me on Instagram at Letitia May Collective for daily inspiration, or visit my website in the details linked below to explore my offerings, ways to work together, and all things the Letitia May Collective. Remember, you are powerful, you are purposeful, and you are never alone on this journey. Until next time, keep aligning, keep elevating, and keep coming home to your truest self.